This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some important updates to share with you. Slightly good news with new inflation data out. $3,000 checks going to families and a $1,500 to $6,700 going out to millions of Americans. President Biden gave a new speech right after the midterm elections, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Thursday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more daily, straight-to-the-point updates on matters that financially matter to you. And I am picking the winners today for the $200 checks at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you haven't signed up already, you still have some time until today, Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, our details down in the description below. So consumer prices rose 0.4% in October, less than expected as inflation eases. So it's that time of the month again where inflation data comes out. We'll see how bad it is. Well, the Price Consumer Index, which is the CPI, or Consumer Price Index, a broad-based measure of goods and services, increased to 0.4% for the month and 7.7% from a year ago. Respective estimates from Dow Jones thought it was going to be 0.6% and 7.9%. So a little bit better than expected. If we look at the chart here, we could see how inflation was, around like 1%, 2%. Usually it's around 2% per year. Then last month, it was 8.2%, or actually, sorry, for September, 8.2%. Now for October, it went down to 7.7%. Slightly lower, still not enough to make a difference in everyday life, as food prices are still pretty high. So 6.3% is food and energy inflation cost, which is pretty much what affects our wallets on a regular basis. So 7.7%, it's slightly getting lower. If you look at the chart, it really doesn't make much of a difference. So let me know your thoughts. Could it be better? When it comes to the midterm elections, almost decided this morning, still not officially counted yet, but President Biden has something to say to bring the country together.
Well, Phil,
I'm teasing.
You mentioned that Americans are frustrated, and in fact, 75% of voters say the country is heading into the wrong direction, despite the results of last night. What in the next 2 years do you intend to do differently to change people's opinion of the direction of the country, particularly as you contemplate a run for president in 2024?
Nothing, because they're just finding out what we're doing. The more they know about what we're doing, the more support there is. Do you know anybody who wants us to get rid of the change we made on prescription drug prices and raise prices again? Do you know anybody who wants us to walk away from building those roads and bridges and the internet and so on? I don't know. I think that the problem is the major piece of legislation we passed, and some of it bipartisan, takes time to be recognized. For example, you got over $1 trillion worth of infrastructure money, but not that many spades have been put in the ground. It's taking time. For example, I was on the phone congratulating a Californian recently, and then someone up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, the congressman who got elected. He said, "Can you help us make sure we're able to have high-speed rail service from Scranton to New York City?" I said, "Yeah, we can. We can. First of all, it'll make it a lot easier, take a lot of vehicles off the road, and we have more money in the pot now, already out there, we voted for, than the entire money we spent on Amtrak to begin with." And it's the same way. For example, I talked about through the campaign that we're going to limit the cost of insulin for seniors to $35 a month instead of $400 a month. Well, it doesn't take effect till next year. So there's a lot of things that are just starting to kick in. And the same way with what we've done in terms of the environmental stuff. It takes time to get it moving.
What are your thoughts on what President Biden had to say? With midterm elections just about over, looks like, well, actually it's still a really close race, but it looks like Republicans are most likely going to gain the House. The Senate seems like it is with the Democrats at this point, but as I mentioned, there's not all the votes counted, so I'm not going to speak ahead of myself. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on all of that. When it comes to stimulus checks, payments between $1,500 and $6,700 being sent to millions, why you must not ignore IRS letters. So this is for people who have unclaimed stimulus checks. as well as a EITC, earned income tax credit. So with the child tax credit, get up to $3,600 per kid. With stimulus checks, we all know those. You can get $1,400 was the latest one. And then when it comes to the earned income tax credit through the American Rescue Plan, you could claim up to $1,502. So yeah, and then working families are able to claim as much as $6,728. So don't forget about that if you have not received any of your checks yet. And then $3,000 stimulus payment could be coming for millions of New Jersey residents. So what is this talking about? Slightly misleading here. So this is talking about the Family Security Act 2.0. Basically here it would give children under 5 $350 direct monthly payments worth more than $4,000 yearly, and then parents with kids aged 6 to 17 would receive $250 per month, $3,000 annually. And so a few other things here. Parents can apply for the benefit 4 months before their unborn child's due date with monthly payment of $700 and a maximum of $2,800 during pregnancy. And yeah, it kind of goes a little more into detail. That has not passed, but you never know what could happen. We'll see what happens with the new Congress coming about, and there could be a lot of changes. Speaking of what these changes could be, here is Republican Senator Ron Johnson, who just won his Senate seat in Wisconsin.
Is it possible to restore in the budget process, committee hearings, regular order, witnesses testifying pro and con, instead of having these deals where 4 people get into a room and make a decision on a gargantuan $4, $5, $6 trillion package without anybody knowing about it? Is it possible to do it the way it should have been done and has been done in the past?
It's entirely possible. We're going to go through that backroom dealing here in the next couple of months because we have a CR and there'll be some massive omnibus. But looking forward, if we get to both chambers, we certainly can. Even with one chamber, with the House, they can go through that process, pass a budget, and then bring up appropriation bills, send them over to the Senate. And then hopefully we'll be in charge. We can bring up those appropriation bills. But this is incredibly important because what sparked 40-year high inflation was the massive out-of-control deficit spending. And as Milton Friedman once said, inflation is always and everywhere a monetary phenomenon. And so we need to, by the way, look at both sides of that equation. Too many dollars facing too few goods. So reduce deficit spending to reduce the number of dollars, but increase the number of goods. I heard your previous guests. We need to address the supply side. Start producing and incentivizing people to do so.
Well, we could cut spending on the one side. We could also cut taxes and regulations on the other. That would achieve, a good part of this. Is it possible to rescind any of the prior spending which caused the inflation in the first place?
Well, I see no reason why you can't eliminate the $369 billion Green New Energy or Green New Deal energy boondoggles, that corporate welfare go in the pockets of people like Al Gore. I mean, that's incredibly important. The other thing we ought to do is establish certain principles. We should do a lot of oversight, and our oversight should be directed toward government programs that reduce our freedom, harm our economy, harm individuals. And we should not pass any bill that increases the size, scope, or cost of government. So just lay out those basic principles and evaluate every piece of legislation that's being proposed. Say, no, that's going to go government. We're not going to bring that up.
What are your thoughts there? With Republicans almost in charge of the House, is there going to be a difference? Or with the gridlock in Congress, with the Republicans probably owning the House and then the Democrats maintaining control of the Senate, are we going to get almost nothing done because of the gridlock? Let me know your thoughts on that. That is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Guys, I didn't see you there. Hi guys, this is Belle. This is the tip of the day. So I wanted to tell you something that you should do. Hi guys, what you doing? Sorry, that's my sister. If if you want to do something and you can't find something, you have to do what you want to do and make another something. If you can't do the first one, then go on to the next one, because you have to stay positive and good and have good relationships with some friends. And you should always be good enough. Bye. That's all I wanted to tell you.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, I'm giving out $200 checks. Down in the description below are details. I will be announcing the winners later today, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you still have some time. If it's not that time yet, I'll publish the video at that time. Pick the winners too, so yeah, we'll see who gets the win. Good luck on that for everyone who has signed up. Details down in the description below. And if you want to check out any of my other videos, my other channels, click right up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.